Hi, my name is Genesis Parker, and I'm coming on here to tell you guys my story, why I created Preparation Fitness, and what it takes to get to the D1 level. So coming out of high school, I was an ESPN top 100 recruit. I had dreams of playing for the WNBA. I loved basketball. I loved everything about basketball. I will always try to find a way to get into the gym. But unfortunately, I hardly played in college. Don't get me wrong, that transition from high school to college is definitely different. The players are better, the players are stronger, it's more physical. The pace, the speed is a lot faster. So, it is a huge adjustment for sure. I love basketball. I love everything about basketball. I always was that type of person that got in the gym, that was getting extra shots up, extra workouts, trying to find ways to just improve on my game. But unfortunately, whatever I did, it didn't work. I still didn't get much playing time. And I just didn't understand why at the time. But now that I've grown and become a little bit wiser, I started to understand that I was playing in a system that did not match my style of play. I'm a shiftier type of player, and I was playing in a system that didn't support that. And I didn't understand at the time. So I ended up, sorry, my video cut out, but I didn't understand that at the time. So I ended up transferring. And when I transferred to another school, the same situation happened. No matter how hard I worked, no matter how much I tried to prove to get better, no matter how good I did in practice, I still wasn't getting much time. So what I ended up doing was I basically gave up. I stayed within the system of playing, but I gave up. I stopped working on my game. I fell out of love for the sport of basketball, and it's just more than the playing time. You had to deal with the coaches. You had to deal with people that didn't like you on the team. It was just so many factors that made me go away from basketball, the sport of basketball, something that I loved to do. So going on to my third school, because I ended up transferring 4 times total. Going on to my third school, I did end up playing for a couple years. And we're not going to talk about today why I ended up playing, but I did end up playing for a couple years. And towards the end of my career there, I ended up tearing my ACL the first game of the season. Long story short, I worked super hard to come back. Our coach got fired, and a new coach came in and did not want to bring me back because he said he didn't know how I'd recover from the ACL tear. Keep in mind, this is my senior year. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So while I was in the transfer portal, there was a lot of coaches saying the same exact thing. Oh, we don't know how you're going to be. We don't know how you're going to come back. I mean, just knowing how I work and my work ethic, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to prove it. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to try to come back. But thankfully, I did have a school that I ended up going to for my 4th season. I worked super hard to get back. I actually really got back in the gym. I worked really hard on my recovery process. And once again, that same cycle happens again, where no matter how good I did in the off season, no matter how much work that I put in, it was not enough, and I did not get much time. So once school ended, I decided that I didn't want anything to do with basketball. I tried to convince myself that I wanted to do personal training, but it was just something missing. It was just I didn't love it as much as I did basketball, but I still tried to brainwash and convince myself that I did not want to play or have anything to do with basketball anymore. And one day, something changed. It was a client that I was working with that asked me to train their child in basketball. And I had no idea. I mean, I knew of training, but I never thought I would be a trainer. And something just kind of clicked. Something just kind of happened where I ended up training this kid. And what had happened was she ended up bringing one of her friends. And one of her friends is what changed the game for me. This was a 12-year-old kid. And I saw the love she had for the game. I saw she was willing to pay attention to detail and to be disciplined. And literally, that right there had sparked my interest again to play basketball and to work again. I hadn't worked in years. I hadn't worked hard and worked on my game in years. But that 12-year-old kid had sparked my love for basketball again. So I started playing again, but I play and I practice and I work out on my own for them, because in my training sessions, I actually play these kids. I do the best that I possibly can with my physical abilities, with the gift that God has given me to help them out, because I want them to have and to create opportunities to get to the next level and to actually love the sport. So going back, now that time has passed, I've learned a lot. I've learned that why give up based on your circumstances? You're going to go through adversity. Things are going to be hard. It's life. That's how life is. You're going to go through challenges. But what I did, I chose to give up. I chose to let other people determine what my destiny was going to be. I don't know where I would be if I would have kept going and kept working hard. And this is where preparation comes in. You know, preparation, I had a trainer that told me a quote that said, success comes when preparation meets opportunity. That's when I was 14 years old. And that word preparation had stuck with me all of those years. And one day it clicked. Don't let adversity beat you. You have to beat adversity. Don't let someone tell you that you can't do something. Because if you start speaking negatively, you are going to perform and you're going to see negative things happen in your life. You got to change the way you think. You got to change the way you speak. You got to change the way you talk about yourself. Just because somebody else doesn't like it or somebody else doesn't believe doesn't mean that you don't have to believe. So something in me is telling me that I'm called to play again. And that's why I started playing semi-pro basketball. And this is another chance to just put my all in, no matter what the outcome ends up being, how well I do. I just know I put my all in. So all these workouts that y'all see on TikTok is me preparing for the second year of my semi-pro season. So I'm just going to end off on this. Success comes when preparation meets opportunity. Will you fight adversity, or will you let adversity beat you? And what I did in my past is what I let adversity beat me. But I am no longer letting that happen to me anymore. I have another chance. I still can play basketball. And I'm going to work within the gifts and the passions and it keeps cutting out. But I'm going to work within the gifts, the talents, and the passions that God has given me. So don't give up and stay ready.